Sometimes what you're good at is different than what you like.
Do you think money buys happiness?
Hell no. Actually, there's an amount of money that once you pass it, it buys misery. Recognize the absolute infinite nature of what you could do. The win goes to the most hours committed. When I realized that how I spent my time and attention on a daily basis, if I do something for 10 hours a day and you only do it for 9 hours a day, in a year it's going to be really hard for you to beat me.
Will Smith shared some powerful truths in this interview that could honestly shift the way you look at your life. If you've ever chased success, battled self-doubt, or wondered what really matters, this is for you.
Well, I started in music and then I went into television and then into film and ultimately into production and business.
So you're a little diversified.
Well, you know, man, I like to have a couple hyphens.
What I like here is how honest he is about growth. He didn't just stick to one lane forever, he evolved. But that evolution didn't mean doing everything at once. That's where this next part comes in.
How do you feel about diversification? Because you wear many hats.
I think of it like an arrow. So if you think about the one thing you do really well at the tip of the arrow, and you got to do it really specifically and really well, and then after the arrow bursts through the universe, then all the other things you do can come through behind it. But I think it's really, really important to master one thing. If you learn how to do one thing really, really well, you can expand your knowledge base from the comprehension of that one thing.
A lot of us feel what Will just said. We try to do everything at once, chasing it all at the same time. But the truth is, real progress starts when you focus on one thing and master it. Because momentum doesn't come from doing more, it comes from doing one thing really well. And even then, focus isn't enough by itself. You need effort. You need consistency. That's what makes Will's mindset different.
One of the things I discovered really early is that the win goes to the most hours committed. When I realized that how I spent my time and attention on a daily basis, if I do something for 10 hours a day and you only do it for 9 hours a day, in a year it's going to be really hard for you to beat me. So I realized very, very early, I was probably 18 by the time I knew that the time applied was cumulative, and even if you were more talented than me, if I put in more hours than you, it would be really hard for you to beat me.
Will is not talking about luck here. He's talking about consistency. That quiet decision to outwork everybody, every day, even when nobody's watching. It's not flashy, but over time, it becomes unbeatable. And that work ethic met something deeper when he filmed The Pursuit of Happyness.
Suffering is a gift. The universe teaches through difficulty. God teaches through suffering and hard times. And the shaping of a person, the shaping of a willpower, the shaping of your energy is almost always exclusively in adversity. And with Chris Gardner, how he talked about the education of his suffering was one of the major lessons that I took away from that movie, like to get comfortable being uncomfortable if you want to achieve.
This one hit hard. He says pain is a teacher. It doesn't feel good, but it prepares you. It sharpens you. We usually try to avoid suffering, but we'll learn to respect it because it builds who you are. Then he gets into something we all wrestle with. Confidence.
Confidence is one side of it, but it's built on not being scared to look stupid. So it looks like confidence when you're not scared to fail, right? It's not actually confidence in its seeds. It becomes confidence after you get used to rejection, you get used to doing it wrong, you get used to being okay when you tell a joke and that one's not funny, and you get comfortable if you hit 3 out of 10, you're in the Hall of Fame. The comfort to fail in front of people is what is perceived as confidence.
Confidence isn't about being perfect. It's about being willing to fall out loud and still come back. The more you do that, the less scary it becomes. That's how confidence is built, by showing up again and again. And the wisdom keeps stacking.
Taking advice from somebody who hasn't done what you want to do is almost insanity. Like listening to people who haven't done the thing that you want to do and ingesting the poison of their ignorant opinion, that makes you crazy.
What is the greatest piece of advice that Will Smith has ever received?
My grandmother, when we were going on tour, as we were getting on the tour bus and she were going away, she said, "Hey baby, just remember, everywhere you go, one day you're going to have to go go back. I didn't get it in that moment, but as I started to go in my career, I started to realize like, oh shit, it's all relationship. We have no clue how we're going to cross paths in the future, and it's critical that even as small as a smile in a moment, you recognize that every person is going to be a part of the tapestry of your future, and just taking a minute to connect and to realize that what you're going to build, there's going to be a necessity for hundreds, if not thousands, of other people to help you.
This was deep. Will warns not to take advice from people who've never done what you're trying to do. But the best advice came from his grandmother, who taught him humility, about how to treat people, because that's what lasts.
Sometimes what you're good at is different than what you like. So I love making music. I love being on stage, but I'm actually better as an actor. And I had to make the choice to go with what I was better at. And I tried to mix the music in there, but the real turning point for me was realizing that my greatest skill set was acting, and I chose to master that above all things in my career, and then finance came behind that, behind the mastery.
Sometimes what you're good at isn't what you actually like. He loved music, but he was better at acting. And once he mastered that, the rest followed. It wasn't about chasing money. It was about mastering the craft first. Speaking of money,
Do you think money buys happiness?
Hell no. Actually, there's an amount of money that once you pass it, it buys misery. Once you have a certain amount of money, you can change people's lives. So it's really all people can think about. So it's difficult to make new friendships at certain financial points, right? In America, somewhere around $1 million a year, it starts going the other way, where it's more problems beyond that, and you start getting into really an attack zone.
Will keeps it real. Money might bring comfort, but after a certain point, it brings problems, more pressure, less trust, and it definitely can't fix what really matters. Peace, he says, comes from being grounded within, not from your bank account. And even after all the success, he faced something unexpected.
After you've had all the money you've wanted, and you've had all the sex you've wanted, and you've created all the things and all the fame, there's a corresponding abyss that you can actually pop off of the top of the material world, and you're like, oh shit, there's literally nothing I want to buy. There's literally nobody that I want to have new sex with. There's nothing, and it's a terrifying place when you realize nothing material can actually satisfy you. And it's a similar abyss at rock bottom. And the realization is that what you're actually looking for is you. There are diseases that are not curable that your money won't be able to fix. There are relationships that break up that you can't buy back. When loved ones die, there's nothing you can do. So there's certain things in this life that only an absolute steadiness in yourself in the face of whatever life has to offer. That's the only thing that can make this place bearable.
This is powerful. He calls it cliff top, that moment when you have it all, but still feel empty, because success won't save you. What you're really searching for is you. Strip away the applause, the money, the status, and what's left, that's what matters.
And your last message to the younger generation in one sentence.
Recognize the absolute infinite nature of what you could do. Consciousness is this crazy gift that literally can do anything. You don't have to go to the job you went to today. You don't have to live where you live now. You don't have to be in the relationship that you're in. You literally can do anything that you choose. It just takes a certain amount of willingness to suffer. But this thing, whatever we are, is a crazy, infinite, magical tool of creation.
No matter where you are in life right now, it's not too late. You're not stuck. You have the power to start again. It'll take work. It might be uncomfortable, but that's the gift of being alive. You can always begin again.